Moses, tukingojea DJ. Wewe DJ unatuangusha bana. Sawa.
Kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na.
Our Heavenly Father, the Father of our Lord and Savior Yeshua, receive praise and glory and honor for who you are all by yourself and who you have made each one of us to be. We thank you for this day. It is indeed the day you've made for us as Ketraco family with our service providers. For this Wellness Day, our God, we thank you for making it possible. For those of us who have come and those who may be on their way, for this day, our God. Thank you for our CEO who has come to give us the opening speech. We thank you for making him available, O God of glory, and we pray a blessing over his life. And for the rest of my colleagues, our Father and our God, as we spend this day, our Father and our God, will give us a time just to bond for the purposes of serving you, O God. In Jesus' name we pray.
Which is certified in ISO 45001. Safety is key.
And to say that the work environment. Within the policy, we have highlighted 7 goals, golden goals, that we are not going to relent in ensuring that we are safe. And these goals revolve around making us safe in terms of practicing fundamental safety at work, ensuring that when we are doing our operations and maintenance, we are able to operate safely by ensuring we open, isolate, test, and bond and insulate our live equipment. The use of permits to work. The work at height. We have also said that we'll be very keen ensuring that persons do not work at height when they are not hooked up, and also conducting safe lifting operations. Whenever you are lifting anything within your work environment, you are supposed to lift it safely, and also conduct safe excavations as well as safe operation of our vehicles. So with that, we aspire to ensure that every one of us is safe, from the top to every person in the organization, and even our visitors and also our contractors and any other person who is legally present within our work environment. So it's just to tell you that the policy is running, and all of us are called upon to ensure that we work hard to make sure that all of us are safe, and every one of us also to be brother's keeper. In line with the day's events, we have events that will be happening within this hall, is Ballroom 2, and also we'll have the outdoor events. We want to say that every one of us should take care of their safety. Within this building, we may have several trip hazards. For example, this particular route, there could be a lot of trip hazards. So in case you come around here, please ensure you are safe. In terms of evacuation from this route, from this Ballroom 2, we have 5 exits that leave this particular building. 3 are in front of me and 2 are behind here. For the exits which are behind here, they are all opened, but be careful of trip hazards. Once you get outside, you will get several exits on this behind me, and also another exit in front, and also the main exit which we came in through. They are all available for us to use in case of any emergencies. And we are supposed to congregate in the field outside the building in case of fires or any emergencies that may require our evacuation. In terms of preparedness for response in case of injuries and all that, we have a dedicated team of first aiders from Ketraco. I've seen several of us around here. Our chief first aider will be Charity, and assisted by all the first aiders who are in the house. Some of them are Marion, Heki, Disha, Michael, myself. All of us, we are available in case of any injuries that may happen. We'll be able to assist. In addition to that, we have our service providers who have also said that they are at our disposal in case of injuries and even illnesses in the course of the day. We have AR outside there. We have the Meditest hostel around here. So all of us should always feel safe. And in case you have any injury, kindly come and you'll be helped in the earliest time possible. I think with that, I want to end there. With that, I want to end there and wish you a safe day and everyone to keep safe. Thank you so much. So, with that, I want to welcome Engineer Kuto for his opening remarks and to proceed with the protocols of the day.
Our guest of honor, the MD and CEO of Ketraco, my fellow colleagues, good morning. Good morning once more. Yeah, it is indeed a great day today to gather and talk about our well-being, because a human resource that is well taken care of, relaxed, can achieve more. And I stand here on behalf of the GM SOPM, but again register my concerns. You know, sometimes when you attend a ceremony and most of your sons and daughters are not around, you feel like you are wishing they were here. I know most of us who are out there in the field, especially people in operations and maintenance countrywide, would have loved to be here. They are the people who climb up those towers, down, fixing those things. But I'm sure they are following us online, and how I wish they were part and parcel of us. One of these fine days, I think, going forward, we will see a way of having a mini arrangement just similar to this for the field workers. Otherwise, I'm very grateful. And as Audi has said, safety comes first. Ketraco has been a growing organization. We've grown right from scratch, and we are where we are, so proud, but we are moving forward as a team that is there to achieve greater heights. I know that we are also proud of our CEO and MD, because he's always leading from the front. When you have something, then he's there to lead, and to lead from the front. I know we have so much to achieve in the coming years, as Ketraco and Ketraco fraternity, but first and foremost, together we will achieve. That's why some of these arrangements, like today, tends to bring us together to achieve more. Lastly, I want to mention that safety is very key, and we have had experiences where you deal with voltages or power flow right from the ones you use to charge your phones. Those are 240 volts. If you mistakenly probably touch on the live part, you'll hear some bit of electric shock, and you'll get away with it somehow. But now what Ketraco is dealing with is 132,000 volts and above. So we are dealing with 132 kV, 220 kV, 400 kV, 500 kV. You know, those are extra high voltages where any mishap, you will surely become past tense because there is no second chance. If I ask you what is the speed of light, speed of light is, if somebody can remember, is 3 times 10 power 8 or something like that. So when you come to face with it or you touch, then the speed of electrocution is so high that it gives no chance. And that's why safety must always come first. And therefore, as we continue developing our procedures, then a time will come when now we'll become strict and more strict on matter of safety, because it does not give a second chance. And therefore, procedures of working in close proximity to live paths and also access to substations and other things will come in first. And that's why it's always good to come together. And therefore, I usually don't want to miss such events which come annually like this, because it develops us, brings us together, we come, and as the theme goes, harmony around and harmony within. So I'm really indeed proud of this, and therefore I don't want to say more. But at this point in juncture, I want to welcome our guest of honor and our CEO, Dr. Engineer John Mativo, CBS. Karibu Bwana MD. Let's continue clapping until he gets up here. Karibu Bwana MD.
Let me start by saying good morning, everyone. I don't know why some people have sat very far, and typically when we start asking questions or volunteers, we pick the people who have sat behind, so you're not hiding by sitting there. But definitely it's a pleasure to be among you on this very important day. As both Dominic and Akuto have said, is a day for us to discuss and remember about our wellness, which speaks to our endeavor to have good health. And this is both physical, that has been spoken to, and I'm more sure more time will be spent on that, issues of safety, but there's also issues of our mental state in terms of what we do. We always have to remember that we spend most of our life in the office, so there's a lot that you can do physical outside the office, which is encouraged, but a lot of mental impact that we have will come in the office. There are statistics that actually say more people get mental challenges or something that affects them either from office or from sibling or their spouse. So the people keep close to you affect how you are. And that's one thing we're discussing in terms of how to ensure that you are safe, you are healthy, both we are mentally affects how we treat our families, affects how we treat our colleagues, it affects ourselves in the long run. So this is key, and really appreciate the service providers. I'll attend some sessions because I have to also join a team that is in Mboma, but I'll be coming in and going out. Kuto, my tracksuit is in my office, so I'll be able to join the afternoon sessions. But I look forward to having a good time with everybody here. And there are many people I've not seen for a long time in this room, which is unfortunate. Please, I run an open door policy. You're free to walk into my office to share whatever good ideas you have. Don't fear my office. I'm there to learn from you and for me to share my ideas. So karibuni, and today please have fun, learn, and grow in this opportunity. So the MC of the day, mine was very brief. I know you're running almost 30 minutes behind schedule, but asante sana for this opportunity to get a chance just to give us some off-the-cuff remarks. Thank you so much. Thank you.
A round of applause for the CEO. That was now the formal opening. We are graduating into semi-now formal session. You see, we are Stima 1. We are dealing with, as engineers said, we are dealing with 132 kV and above. You see, we usually energize substations and TLs. We want to see that energy right now. Moses.
Entrance is the most appropriate. Others, how are you doing? Are we good? Are we okay? Are you sure? Let's clap our MD who has done a good job. Amesema tracksuit yake kuko ofisi, so in a few minutes from now mtamwona na tracksuit, ndio? Now I want you to rise up on your feet. Rise up on your feet, everybody. If you can kindly, I don't have some echo. Minimize the echo on my mic, tafadhali. Sound engineer, minimize. All right. Do you know your neighbor? Do you know the person standing on you? There are like 72 people. Say hi to 72 people around. Yeah, even MD is coming to where you want to come and say hi to you. The MD himself is coming around to say hi to you. So make sure, come out from where you are sitting. Come out from where you are sitting. Move around. Yes, if it's a huggable, hug the person. If a shakeable hand, shake the person. Whatever you do, make sure you're saying hi to somebody. All right. Yes. 10 more to go. Naona chairman, umesimama tu peke yako. The person in gray, nakuona. Yeah, chairman, can you move around? I can see you. Mwambia move around. Salimia watu tafadhali. Salimia umati. Move around. Yes, that's what I want to see. I want to see some breakage of ice. Okay, let's do an activity. Somebody say, I'm alive. I'm alert. Let's start again. I'm alive. I'm awake. I'm alert. I'm enthusiastic. I'm alive. Yeah, the chairman in Kenya. Yeah. That's enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert. Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert. Enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert. I'm alert, awake, alive. Even MD, all the people. Now, if you want to choppy class, take out your phone. Take out your phone, everybody. Yeah, just hold it. Hold it. Put a selfie mode where you can be able to see. Now, I want you to give yourself 5 affirmations about yourself. Put a video mode. Put a video. All right. Now, I want you to give 5 affirmations about yourself. I'm strong. I'm disciplined. I'm enthusiastic. Now, flowers because you made it. Yes. Don't be shy. Yes. Affirm yourself. 5 affirmations. 3, 2, 1. Chairman, affirm yourself now. Ama ujipendi? Jipende. Who will penda? Nice, excellent, I like it. Now, let's take the next level. So next level is this. DJ will be playing the music, will be moving around dancing, and then when the music stops, you stop and take a selfie with the person smiling next to you. So you'll be moving around, moving around. When the music stops, you take a selfie with that person. Are we together? Have I communicated? Can I speak in the local? So the music will be playing. So I don't see somebody standing like this when the music is playing. And I know most of you normally tunapatana ngo kuiva ni quiver. Selfie with the person sitting next to you. Excellent. Hey, naona. Okay, you're searching for this part, eh? I'm a Gen Z now, I know you Gen Zs. One more time, DJ, let's go. Continue. Move around. Hey, move around. Dance around. Dance around. Dance around. Dance around. Dance around. Dance around. Selfie. Excellent. Two more time, DJ. Let's go. Keep going. Come on. Everybody. Hey. Selfie. Hey, chairman. Security man, kuna ni ngoja tu. Keep going. Hey. Come on. Selfie. Now I want to make the biggest selfie you can ever do in Ketraco. So all of us will go in front with the music dancing. Hapo mbele. So who is the tallest person in the room? Who is the tallest? Who? Tunaanzia wote kwa mbele, ndio mziki tukiimba tukidance. DJ twende kazi. Everybody, let's go in front. Everybody. Hey.
unaelewa zimatana kutoesi ni nani aliyekukera anaishi wapi mkumedeshi niliapa sitapenda tena lakini leo nafungua kesi sasa mkatali mkutesi tukati unazio santimita hakuna kilomita tunatako kila mtana moyo kusinawita hadi tofuna zero santimita hakuna kilomita tunatako kila mtana moyo wangu sinyorita halo halo nimekuja na tangazo muoneni kama ameifunga milango ya roho yangu mama
My love is bigger than the ocean. On your skin like a lotion. Loving you is my devotion. Give you girl full potion. Oh my beautiful addiction. With a sweet vibration. The two of we is a vision. Anytime I slip your name I dimension. So tell me girl where you there. Just me I don't let the fire blaze. Anytime you want your ways. Watch out the man them they grace. Any man tell me where you there. Girl, I've been loving you for days. Anytime you wind up your waist, all I demand them the grace. Baby, I the color for your love. I the color for your love. I the man for your love. Your love, no more. Your love, no more. Your love, your love, your love, no more. No more. Your love, your love. Come give it to me, baby.
Platinums. Mimi sasa. Me I'm giving thanks to the creator. Your mama boy you well better. Mama kama funga toneta. Kina vya pepe akimweka. Oh na na. Poti sanyonga makiliti. Odi na gonga za beliti. Usinichomeka kidonda na spiriti. Mimi ongetaumia. Baby, you got me falling in love.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, since now we are best friends now, if there's a seat in front of you that is empty, can you kindly occupy it? Now that you are friends. Now that you are friends, because now you know we love each other, you are my friend, harmony within, harmony around, please come and sit here, sir. Thank you very much. Selfie guy, kuja tafadhali mbele kidogo. Yes, so yeah, now you guys are my friends. Look at you.
Thank you,
Dr. Hospital of Bosnia. You're from Bosnia. Karibu sana. Yes, come. Hey, chairman, I love the green. You're a champion, eh? Mbako ulijua leo unakuja kuvaa green.
Thank you.
MDA. What is this? Kuja tafadhali. Let's occupy the front seats, please. Yes, there's some more seats here in front. Let's occupy the front seat. Optica, thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, if there's a seat in front of you, please let's be courteous enough to occupy. Thank you very much. Yes, so that the people who are coming next year, yes, ma'am. Unakapo uzika ufeka nyuma.
Thank you.
Urembo yote.
MDA. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Engineer Akuto, I think we need to convert that energy. Sijui ita supply TL gani. Now, before we go for a tea break, we want to do like a brief introduction to our service providers who are around. And we'll start with hii jina ni ngumu. Niliambiwa ni Shedwick. Ama ni Sedwick. Florence. Kindly. Kuja mbele mbio. Then they'll be followed by GA Insurance, Faida. Optica, just a brief introduction. Optica Meshak, family Dr. Phyllis. Mumekuja wote. Hapa security ni tight, anafaa kuja moja tu.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. My name is Kezia. We are here on behalf of Cedric. Hauko umekosea sana. Cedric Kenya Insurance Brokers.
Okay. Hiyo ni jama nama ni ki Hezbollah.
Ni ki UK.
Oh, okay.
So feel free to come to our table. You're all welcome. We have some goodies. Ask as many questions as you'd like. And also we'd be happy if you'd fill for us a small customer survey. Just scan the code. It'll take you to the link. Thank you.
GA. I would request all the service providers, mkuja hapa mbele for the sake of saving time. GA, Optica, Family, AR, Chiromo, Amani. In that order. GA. Kila mtu ako na escort wake.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Faith Mutuku from GA Insurance. You're most welcome. I have my partner here, Eunice Ogutu. You're most welcome at our desk. We have some goodies with you. We have some good products that we also offer, and you're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, GA. Optica.
Good morning, everyone. The CEO and all protocol observed. Good morning once again. My name is Meshak from Optica, and we'll be doing eye checkup, eye screening, consultation, and any other thing that you want to know about your eyes. In Optica, we say, if you can't see, come see us. Welcome.
Yo. Sawa, thank you, Optica. Family.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. I'm Dr. Maina from Family Health Dental Clinic. We're offering today free dental screening for all of you. We're located at Timol, Langata Road. It's just a few minutes from here. But today we'll be just doing a checkup, and then any other follow-up procedures will be at our clinic. You're all welcome at our desk. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. AAR.
Good morning. Hi. Yeah, my name is Regina. I'm representing AR Healthcare, and I'm here with my team. So at our desk, we'll be having weight, height, BMI, random blood sugar test, and also being a Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I'd like to encourage men to come to our desk. It's free, so karibuni. Thank you.
My name is Jane Kibutu. I'm from Amani Counseling Center, Medical Support. Please feel free to come to us.
Thank you, Amani. Meditest. Meditest.
Good morning. My name is Magdalene. I'm with my colleague. I'm from Meditest Hospital. We are delighted to be invited here at Meditest Road. We also have various branches here to offer services of counseling with my doctor here, Dr. Anthony. Welcome to our desk. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, before we go for our tea break, I know you've registered.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of our leadership. They are very, very, they send us with this exercise, Dr. Rose Ngondi and use of us. We are here to make sure that your mental wellness is taken care of.
Thank you, Chiromo. Now, before we go for our tea break, Tunataka well represented here. If I mention your directorate, tupige nduru mzuri. Tuanze na CEO, sije yako peke yake backup. Finance bana. Hivyo ndo mnakalianga pesa yetu. Iko under PDS, ha? DNC. Hao ni watu wa good. Hao ni supply chain bana. Yes. Huyo ni one man army. Anashinda bana. Now, maybe we forgot something important. Kings are on your right. Queens left. Idea quickly, then we come back so as to save time.
Just say a prayer for our tea, but also a reminder, please make sure you sign the attendance register. It's at the desk out there. If you're a supplier or a provider, there's a special register for you. And if you're a staff member, please make sure that you also sign attendance register.
Najua security wanakuanga chini ya maji. Wapi security? Thank you. Now we are going into our sessions, and to start us off, going by the theme of our day to day. And our presenter has a rich profile. A PhD in clinical psychology from Daystar University. Ardent advocate for mental health. With over 10 years of training experience. A knack for making meaningful with the audience and an insatiable appetite for helping others. She knows how to connect with the crowd and provide training so that others can effectively do the same. And currently, she is the head of training and research at Chiromo Hospital Group. And when she's not at Chiromo, she's always busy mentoring and motivating young people to maximize their potential. DJ, tuweke ka soft kidogo. Stima 1. Our first presenter, Dr. Rose Gondi.
Here, I'm Dr. Rose Ngondi from Chiromo Hospital Group, and I want to appreciate the leadership that has mental health. I want to make a request. I am a lecturer with students is very important. If you don't mind, you help your child, help your husband, help your wife, help your community at large. Kindly turn to the person next to Mwambie, there is no health without mental health. So in the next, I must say that I appreciate your theme. Your theme is harmony around and harmony within. If it starts from harmony within, then harmony around us. Your theme goes ahead with the relationships. Best to remain here. I wish I had a mic. It will make my work more comfortable. Thank you. Let's clap for him. He's so very fast. So we want to talk about mental health. And you see, up and until your child goes to the hospital and the medical doctor says, we have no biological cause. The doctor recommends counseling. Or you yourself, you are sick, you go to hospital, 3 days off. Your prescription is nothing else than taking abortion. And that's why I'm saying what I'm discussing. It's specialized hospital. It has been like Livington, the same Bresa. Then we also have Nyali branch. We have managing a mental health concern. It is the 3 states of matter. Then the teacher told us that the 3 states of matter can change from one state to another, liquid to gas. What sublimation? So what am I saying? From healthy to coping to struggling, and you have become unwell. The question is this, and you have become unwell. The question is this, how would you rate your mental health? Wawa uko wapi? Coping, thank you. Where are you? A moment of self-reflection. Where are you? Please take note of something. Between being healthy and unwell, there is a very important part, and that is coping. You see, it's not what happens to us that puts us at a risk of a mental disorder. It is how we cope with what has happened to us. 2 people can lose a job at the same time, but 6 months down the line, they are different. Because the elephant in the house is, how do you cope with what you are going through? Coping is what will either move you to being healthy. Coping is what will move you to struggling. So coping is very critical to us as human beings. How are you coping? Are you engaging healthy or unhealthy coping mechanisms? If you engage healthy coping mechanisms, wow, you move towards being healthy. If your coping mechanisms are unhealthy, then you find yourself struggling. Someone might be asking, which are the healthy coping mechanisms, which are unhealthy? One of the unhealthy coping mechanisms is alcohol use to numb your feelings. The other one is keeping your emotions, not talking to somebody, withdrawing from people. That is unhealthy. So ask yourself, a moment of reflection. How am I coping? It is true life is difficult. It is true it's hard economic season. For sure it is. The elephant in the house is, how are you coping? Because how you cope determines your mental wellness. How are our children coping with the academic pressure? That is the elephant in the house. And anytime we talk about mental health, we have two concepts we need to understand: mental disorders and mental health problems. Now, when you talk of mental disorder, if you came to my office and I told you, my sister, after assessing you have symptoms of depression, what am I telling you? I'm telling you have a mental disorder. What is a mental disorder? It refers to a range of conditions that affect three things: the way you think, your feelings, and your behavior. Full stop. So if I tell you have symptoms of depression, it means there is a change in your thoughts, in your feelings, and in your behavior. If I tell you have an anxiety disorder, it means there is a change from the way you think, the way you experience your feelings, and the way you behave. Simple. I like giving this example. I am the speaker and I'm honored to be the speaker this morning. Can you imagine the way I am? Then I decide to put one leg, mguu moja, I put a gumboot. And this other leg I put a high-heeled shoe. Then I take a trouser and I tie it as a headgear in my head. If you looked at me, what would you think? Please talk to me. I am mad. What makes you think I'm mad? Excellent. You are good students. My behavior. And that's why the red flag that someone might not be okay is change. If someone used to behave in a particular way, all of a sudden they change for a prolonged period of time, that means that's a red flag. I'll be talking about that. If your child loved television, they loved eating, they loved playing with other children, then all of a sudden they change. They just want to remain in their room. They don't want to eat. Please take note. That's a red flag. You'd rather go to a counselor and you are told your child is okay, rather than thinking it is normal, and then you find your child later on going to the extreme. Very sad. I counsel children, and I know it can be very hard for parents. And one of the things parents say, Daktari, where did I go wrong? What didn't I see? Now I am telling you what you need to look out for. And mental disorders affect our normal functioning. But someone could be telling me, doc, I don't have depression. Mimi niko ngangari, niko sawa, I don't have a mental disorder. You are not yet out of the woods. I want to talk about mental health problems. Now, mental health problems, on the other end, describe symptoms that are associated with the mental disorder, but the symptoms are not so severe to be diagnosed as a mental disorder. We have two mental health problems: stress and burnout. Let me ask you, how is our sleep pattern when we are stressed? You can shout wherever you are. How is your sleep pattern? Good or bad? Bad. How is your appetite? What is bad, surely? You cannot say your appetite is bad. Sincerely. High or low? There are people when they are stressed, my friend, they eat. Do I have such in the house? I mean you eat. We call it emotional eating. After 1 month you look at that person and you're like, wow, you seem to be doing good. And you don't know they are overeating because of stress. There are some people when they are stressed, appetite goes down. You know yourselves. How is your concentration when you are stressed? How is your concentration? Poor. Have you ever looked for something that you are holding? Have you ever found yourself there? Have you ever moved to your office, to your colleague's office, you get there? By the way, what did I want to tell you? Imagine nimesahau. Have you ever found yourself there? Have you ever looked for your spectacles and you actually have them on? Stress. Yeah. Thank you for being vulnerable, forgetting someone's name. How many of you have gone to the car park? Unajaribu kukumbuka, where did I park? Do I have people who have found themselves there? That is stress. Ladies and gentlemen, those symptoms you have given me, do you know they're also symptoms of depression? And don't diagnose yourself. They're also symptoms of depression. But the beauty is it, when you are depressed, you can still, when you are stressed, you can still wake up, shower, and go to the office. But when you are depressed, the symptoms are so severe that you cannot even go to work. Or you will go to work, but your functionality is affected in one way or the other. So none of us is safe. Even me, as much as I have a PhD in clinical psychology, life happens, and I am a human being. You only need to be a human being living in this life for you to be a candidate of developing a mental health condition. It is not a respecter of persons. Then, the other problem, mental health problem, is burnout. What is burnout? Burnout refers to emotional, physical, mental exhaustion caused by prolonged and, prolonged stress. Yani, you are tired. And it is burnout that takes people to hospital when they are sick, but their doctor gives them a clean bill of health and you are told to sleep. More often than not, it is burnout. Because burnout, you will have diarrhea, you will have constipation, you will have headaches, you will have aches, ugonjwa ya hapa na pale. You know what you call ugonjwa ya hapa na pale. And yet you are not sick. But the question, and what happens with burnout? There are 3 dimensions of burnout: depersonalization, emotional exhaustion, and also decreased sense of accomplishment. You are just tired. The question is this, ladies and gentlemen: how burnt are you today? Uko wapi? Uko number 7. Kuna mtu wako 7. How burnt are you? Number 4. Mwingine? 3. Mwingine? Ati nini? Thank you. I went somewhere and said, Doc, you forgot something. What did I forget? There is a number 8. Because that's where I am. As you have your wellness day, this is reflection for you. How burnt are you? Because burnout will affect you. It will affect your functionality. And someone is wondering, is burnout that bad? To answer that, I want to invite you, please be good students. At your own free time, watch a documentary by NTV titled, Make Peace with Rest Before You Rest in Peace. Somebody is saying amen. Please watch that documentary. Make peace with rest before you rest in peace. Not a very appealing topic. Cinder. That 3 lived experiences, 2 ladies and 1 gentleman who is a pastor. They experienced burnout, and burnout caused them to be admitted in hospital. Literally. Especially for the pastor. He said he had gone through surgery, and at some point the wound, after healing, he started opening up again. That's where you will see the importance of self-care. Wellness. Wellness tunafanya leo hii is very important. Please go check your blood sugar. Come and do an assessment on mental health. Check these things. It's very important. Make peace with the rest before you rest in peace. I remember one of the ladies there, she resigned on her hospital bed. Aliandika resignation akiwa kwa hosi. And she says she was more at peace in hospital than she was at work. Can you imagine? And she had to resign. So please take care of yourselves. What are the warning signals that I'm not okay? Change. I loved doing this. Now I have no interest completely. Change. I loved cooking. I loved taking a walk. I loved music. I loved, but nowadays I have lost the morale. Any change that is persistent is a red flag. I remember this old man calling me one day, Daktari, I want to come see you with my son because what I know, I don't know what is happening with him, but I know this is not my son. Mtoto wangu amebadirika. That's what the old man was saying, an old man. And for sure when the boy came, or the young man who was a freshman at the university, the young man had started taking cannabis. So that change the father was speaking about, can you imagine if the father was not keen? And that young man has started taking cannabis. Change. If you are a parent here, please be observative. Please be observative with your children. I have counseled children. If there is anything affecting our children, is bullying in high schools and primary. Bullying. And never tell your child, musamehe, tumuombe, it is okay. Wacha tusamehe na tuombe, but let that child get the necessary help. Because could be the time you bring that child to me, the child has attempted to die by suicide. She has attempted 3 times, but you only know 1 as a parent. Let us have a keen eye. It's very important. We are talking about wellness. We are talking about mental health. Then what is wellness? You are talking about wellness, to emphasize how inner mental wellness. What is wellness? What is mental wellness? What is this you are emphasizing as Ketraco when you talk about mental wellness? That creates a foundation for healthier relationships. What is wellness? Wellness refers to active pursuit. Please take note of that. Active pursuit of activities, of choices and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. Active pursuit. I have seen, as Chiroma we are here, I have seen quite a number of other service providers out there. Imagine you need to be an active, pursue them. Active pursuit. It's not passive. You must be intentional to pursue your mental wellness. Intentionality is a must. Active pursuit of what? Activities. Choices. Choices. And lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic wellness. It is practicing healthy habits. Healthy habits so that you don't survive, you thrive in life. You don't survive in life, you thrive. And that does not mean if you thrive, you have no problems. No, you have problems. But the elephant in the house is how are you coping to make you thrive? Very important. This is a personal pursuit. What is mental wellness that you are pursuing in your theme today? Is a proactive process that helps you build resilience and cope with challenges in life. I love harmony within me, harmony around me. Excellent theme. And therefore, mental wellness is a resource for you that helps you think, feel, behave. And that's where relationships comes in. Mental wellness is more than the absence of disease. I could be having depression, but I have taken healthy coping mechanisms that are helping me. As much as I have symptoms of depression, I am thriving in that very state. It's a choice. It's a choice that you have to make. Why should you invest in your mental health, ladies and gentlemen? Why? Why even should you have a theme on mental health? Why? Number one is because poor mental health will affect your productivity, whether you like it or not. Poor mental health will affect your productivity. Empirical findings show that mental health conditions, specifically depression, anxiety, and stress-related disorders, they reduce our productivity by 5 to 10%. And why do mental disorders reduce our productivity? Because mental disorders reduce, or they affect our functionality. That's all about it. So for our children, before you quarrel your child who is dropping in a performance, get to know what is in their world. Because for the children, it will affect their schoolwork. Then why should we invest in mental health? Number two, because of issues to do with absenteeism and presenteeism. Absenteeism, when we have a mental disorder or when we have a mental health concern, we will keep on being absent from work because we are sick. Then the other thing, we might find ourselves, there's something called presenteeism. I have clocked in at work, but I'm not doing much. Niko kwa ofisi, ukweli niko kwa ofisi, but I'm doing very little. Very little. Not because I'm a bad employee, but I'm sick. Now wait until, I don't know whether people have KPIs. The day for KPI comes and your supervisor wants to see your performance. Now that's where fireworks starts. Absenteeism and presenteeism. The last impact of poor mental health, relationships. That's why I'm saying I love your theme for the day. Anybody who has a mental health condition, I can tell you, you'll have a challenge with intrapersonal relationship. You'll have a challenge with extrapersonal relationships. This is where you tell me something, I erupt because I am stressed out. This is the time you tell me something and the way I respond. So anytime you have a mental health condition, it will affect your interpersonal relationships. At home, at place of work, wherever you go, it will. And that's why if a family member is diagnosed with a mental health condition, it is important to do family therapy. Because that one member will affect other people in that family in a very subtle way. So as much as I'm helping patient A who has depression with psychosis, I need to call the family also, and I also help them. Because relationships will be affected. If you have bipolar, and you go to the office and you are having your manic episode, I can tell you, hey, there will be chaos. Because you are having this high energy. I'm speaking to the gentleman here, lakini namuongelesha na sauti ya juu. Because I'm having a manic episode. I can even decide to leave to this one from here and you cannot stop me. There's something, allow me put in quotes, abnormal, because you're having a manic episode. And before you realize it, you will hurt so. We speak about to emphasize how inner mental wellness creates a foundation. I love your theme. Creates a foundation for healthier relationships. Do you want healthier relationships at Ketraco? Then your mental wellness comes in. You first than me and the other person. What works to create mental wellness? What do I need to do to create my mental wellness? Number one, self-awareness. Please be aware of yourself. Can you tell when you are stressed? Do you know when you get stressed? What are your telltale signs that you are stressed? Do you know your personality type? Do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? And if you know them, have you accepted you for who you are? Self-awareness is the heartbeat of change. You will never change that which you are not aware of. You want to pursue mental wellness? Self-awareness is important. Be aware of your personality. Be aware of your strengths, your weaknesses. Be aware when you are stressed. So that if someone comes and tells you, kisikuizi, you get angry very fast. You don't take offense. You tell the person, imagine it is true. That's how God created me, but I am working on it. You don't take offense. Someone comes and tells you, it's very hard to please. You are such a perfectionist. You don't fight. You say, imagine it is true, but I'm working on it. That's what we mean by self-awareness. Accept you for who you are. And you will never compare yourself with anybody. So mental wellness starts with self-awareness. Number two, develop individual skills. Do I have some skills that I can use for me when I get stressed? First, I need to know what are my telltale signs. For me, when I get stressed, there is like a headache that starts from behind here. When I feel that, I know I am stressed. So for you, what happens? Then do you have the skills? Do you have some skills on your fingertips that you can use to help yourself? Some of the skills, we call them relaxation techniques. And one of the relaxation techniques is abdominal breathing, or what we call diaphragmatic breathing. You can go to the YouTube and look for it. Practice it. It helps you to calm down. When life seems so difficult, it will help you at a very personal level to manage you when you need to manage you. You know you cannot manage others if you haven't managed yourself. Management starts with you. And that's why emotional intelligence starts with me before I go to other people. So have some skills with you. Number three, build a supportive environment. Do you want to pursue mental wellness? Oh, please build a supportive environment. Social capital. Relationships. Do you have two people or one person that you can call when things are tough? And you are sure they'll be there for you. Supportive environment. Social capital. I tell people, you can have 1 million shillings in your bank account, but not even a single coin will come to visit you in hospital. Nothing. But colleagues will come. Family members will come. Build supportive relationships. Very important. And by the way, as much as you say so and so akona roho chafu, kwanza we mwenye ujiangalie. There is no perfect being. Are we together? Manage yourself. Focus on people's strengths. This person talks a lot, but she's a hard worker. Focus on the hard working. Even you, there's something that other people will say about you that is negative. Let's focus on the positive in people. And the last strategy, please engage in activities. You look sporty, so I want to believe today there's something happening that is sportish. Engage in activities and actions that help you feel good. You makes you feel good about yourself. Activities that make you function well, and activities that build stronger social relationships. And that's what we call self-care. Self-care is about activities, it's about actions that help you feel good, that make you function well, that build supportive relationship. When you go out with your girlfriend for coffee, you are building supportive relationship. When you go out with your fellow men for boozy, you are building supportive relationships. You will not make it in this life as a loner. I can tell you for a fact. Even when I'm counseling patients, I want to know, how is your supportive environment? Because it's a variable as far as your prognosis is concerned. So, ladies and gentlemen, self-care is not selfish. Look at your friend mwambie hivyo. Self-care is not selfish. Sumwambie tunaka nguvu jameni. Self-care is not selfish. You see, if I have a glass, am I able to get a glass? Someone help me with a glass, please. I'll appreciate, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Self-care is not selfish. You can never serve from an empty vessel. This is a glass. I'm pouring. Is there anything coming out? No, there's nothing. Self-care is not selfish. Tell your friend, you cannot serve from an empty vessel. Go ahead and tell her, pause and fill your vessel. Thank you. You can't serve from an empty vessel. At times the conflict we have in our offices is because we are having so many people with empty vessels. Someone who has something to offer, they will react differently. Pause and fill your vessel. I like giving an example with me. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm the head of department, Chiromo Hospital Group. I am in charge, I am a child, I am, all these titles. But can I tell you the truth? Yes, up and until Rose, not Mrs. Karau, Rose herself is okay, Mrs. Karau will not be okay. Mama Joy will not be okay. I have to take care of Rose. And I must be intentional. The head of training will not be okay. Up and until Rose is okay. And for Rose to be okay, I must take care of Rose as a person. I have to remove all these other responsibilities and I take care of me. When I feel good, the head of training is good. Mama so-and-so is good. Mrs. so-and-so is good. It's a challenge I'm posing to you all. Take care of yourselves. Allow me, in the interest of time, how do you take care of yourself? Which activities? Engage in an activity that is sensory, pleasure, mental, spiritual, emotional, physical, and social. What do I mean? Sensory. Is there something that makes you feel good about yourself? Like, there are people when they listen to music, oh my goodness, see, they feel good. Others, they have no orientation with music. What works for you? Some people, they will light a candle that is scented. Some people have no time even to pick the scents. You pick the scent. What works for you? Pleasure, journaling, watching a movie. Mental, try anything new. For me, in my phone, I have word search. When I find I'm bored, things are getting tough, I take my phone and I do the word search. The one you do the puzzle. It may look kiddish, but it's a point for rejuvenating myself. And I oftenly do that. Then, what else can you do? Spiritual. Did you know forgiving people is part of your self-care? Can I repeat that? Did you know forgiving people is part of your self-care? You forgive them for your sake. Let me bring the gospel home. When you forgive people, first and foremost, you are taking care of you. How many times in my counseling sessions we talk about forgiveness? Because this person is depressed. Akona depression. but it's so bitter to somebody who did something wrong to them. Please, forgiveness is not easy, no question about it. Then, emotionally, what can you do? You can laugh, you can do all sorts of things. Physically, I want to believe today you are going to do something physical, keep it up. Taking a walk, hitting the gym, whatever it is. The question is, choose your self-care activity. Choose your self-care activity. Me, nature walk does not really exist in my life. But listening to music, it does. What works for you? This is a personal journey. Ladies and gentlemen, how is your mental wellness economy? How is your economy on mental wellness? Someone is asking, Doc, what is that? It refers to you spending. Yani ukifanya budget, you budget on activities, products, and services whose primary aim is to help you along the mental wellness pathways of growth, nourishment, rest, and rejuvenation. How is your mental wellness economy? As CHG, we are privileged even this day. My colleagues, I hope they have given you these bookmarks. Kindly, these bookmarks, you will receive them. This bookmark contains a QR code. In that QR code, you have 5 assessment tools. One way of knowing how you are doing. When you najisikia concentration, the way doctor has said, I think mimi niko na depression. You can assess yourself. But it's not diagnostic. It's just screening yourself. So in this QR code, we have 5 tools. We have a tool for anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. There is an alcohol use disorder. You can screen yourself. You can even go share with your chama ladies and your girlfriends and your buddies. Let them screen themselves. Remember, it's confidential. So your name, your organization, you don't need to fill that. And then it will give you a score. If you didn't put your name, they say your score is 10 for depression. Then it will tell you what is 10. It means moderate depression. But please don't diagnose yourself. You will need to call us. There's a number, there are quite a number of numbers there. You can call any of those numbers and you can book an appointment with us. And I'm telling you, mental health is more than the absence of a mental disorder, ama kuchizi. And this is not diagnostic. And having said that, I have come to the end of my presentation.
Makofi ya stima one. Hiyo ni ya Thank you, Dr. Ross, for that presentation. Actually, I've learned something here. You know, the budget statement was read yesterday. So, since we need to read our mental wellness economy statement. Do you want to take some? Okay. Yeah. Self-care activity. Mental wellness. Nakuja hapo.
Ndio nimerudi.
Nakuja hapo. Now, since umeenda mbele yangu, uko na swali. Maybe we are going to take like a maximum of 2 questions. Since we have their desk outside, if you have a burning issue, you can always see Chiromo. But wacha tuanze na Wajakoya.
Good afternoon. For the benefit of those who don't know me, my name is Kelson Semonjero Amunya, all the way from Shinyalu, Shangalangwe village. I'm a cook, waiter by profession, an MC by Kierere. I'm a gardener as well. So my question is, I've been following and sijasikia mahali umeguzia indicators. You haven't gone deep. What are these indicators? How am I supposed to know I am here? My next concern is, you've been backed up with wapi engineer alikuwa hapa amesema forgiving, you forgive for the sake of yourself. Yes, it is for the sake of myself. What if you are in a situation whereby you're forgiving the same person over and over again and the person keeps poking? What do you do? How do you handle that? Because it gets to some point you're pushed to the wall. How do you handle such a situation?
Okay, thank you. Now, the red flags. I talked about change. It could be change in hygiene. Hygiene is number one. In fact, when people come for sessions and they are very sick, the hygiene is a major indicator. Number two, we can look at withdrawal. They loved, interacting in terms of interpersonal relationships. Change also in performance, especially for our children. It can also be change in appetite, change in sleep patterns, change in your motivation. I mean, change. Ili unasema tu kwamba I used to, but now I am not. I used to love going to the salon every month, but now I can stay even for 6 months. Is a change that is persistent. You get the picture? Because even when someone comes to me and they are talking, Doc, my sleep, and nowadays I don't sleep well, and there's a word, nowadays I don't sleep well, help me understand. They say, I take time to cut sleep, or when I sleep, naamka saa 8 na sitalala tena. Then I ask the person, is it a change? He's like, yeah, Doc. Zamani, April, I was sleeping well. You see what I mean by change? Someone says, I am overeating. There are people who overeat generally. So I want to know, is this you? Daktari miskulangi sana. Lakini kuanzia last month, ninajiona nakula sana. Have you understood what I mean by change? That's what we look at. And that's why at times, if you tell me that this person is talking a lot, I just want to know, is it the person or is that change? Talking again. If someone is always quiet, composed, all of a sudden, anashautia kila mtu, that is still a change. There's something red. You get it? Now, what happens when you have a person who is triggering you every now and then? Some things are difficult, but this is what I tell people. The only person you control is you. You can't control the other person. So what happens is like asking a husband and a wife, and one of them is triggering the other one so much. There's nowhere we'll ask the man or the woman to come live with me. They have to live in the same environment. And I cannot tell them to divorce or to separate. So what do? I deal with the person who came to seek help. And what do they learn? Coping mechanisms. How do I cope with this person who keeps on poking holes? This person who keeps on triggering. And one of the things you learn is to differentiate the offense from you. If someone says, kwa nini unaongea sana, you sit and you reason with yourself. Unajiita kamkunji. Did I do anything wrong? No. I think that person has a problem. So what do? I learn to live with that person because I am not the problem. This person. In fact, a lady told me at some point 2 years ago, Doc, now I understand. It's so liberating. I think my husband has a problem. And one of her greatest challenge was quarreling, noise, nini. She sits with somebody. Where were you sitting with that person? You get the picture? So at times we empower the person to differentiate between themselves and this other person, because someone who keeps on provoking you, there could be more than you can see. Then the other thing I want to know, do they provoke other people or is it only you? So if it is only about you, then we need to evaluate further about that relationship. But I empower the person with me. You get it? Okay. Is there another question? Any other question? Okay.
I think the man from Shinyalu has asked the 2 questions.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
stop at that. Thank you, Dr. Ari. Another round of applause for Dr. Rosa. Now, our next session is about respiratory ailments. And this session will be handled by AAR services. Engineer, can you project the profile of our next doc? Studio, mumelala darasa bana. Profile ya the next presenter. Harmony within? Harmony within? Walikuwa nadhania mmesahau. Now our next presenter is a general practitioner at AR Healthcare. A doctor from Ulisao, the University of Nairobi. Let us give a round of applause for Dr. Brian Onyancha, who will be taking us through this session, and he'll be talking about the respiratory ailments. Karibu Daktari. You need this mic or the other one? There is another one up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Brian Onyancha from AR Healthcare. I've also been empowered by the mental health talk, and I hope you paid attention. Whatever I'm going to talk about today, your mental health is more likely to do more harm way before a cold or pneumonia does the harm. Okay, so I'm going to talk about respiratory diseases. Next slide. Okay, now predominantly we are from AR South Sea, which is close to where you guys operate, and those are our operating times. Next slide. Okay, now so the respiratory system essentially is how you get oxygen into and out of your body, and then the way it's designed, it has its defense mechanisms to prevent infections as well as foreign materials. And then the diseases that affect respiratory system can be infectious, autoimmune, or atopic, essentially hypersensitivity. And now, so just a quick summary of this. Like when someone says atopy, it's mainly like, let's say your allergies or having asthma, and then there are some autoimmune disorders that will attack your lungs. So they'll give you those symptoms. And then predominantly what affects the respiratory system, there are infections, whether viral, bacterial, fungal, or in rare cases parasitic. Now, so there are multiple risk factors that will predispose you to these issues. Now, these include extremes of age. So children under 6 years and adults above 65, they're at a higher risk of either getting the infection or having more severe complications. And then you have immunocompromised individuals, some genetic factors. Congenital anomalies are issues children are born with, yeah? So that can make their lungs not to work properly, that can give them issues over and over again. Overcrowding, cigarette smoking, pollution, occupational. Now where you work, if there are like irritants, smoke, or other chemical vapor there, you are more likely to get issues, as well as poor hygiene and environmental factors like your house having mold. And now, so the way you think about infections of the respiratory tract is whether they are upper or lower. Now, upper tend to be mild, is what you say, uko na homa. You want to do some concoction at home, hydrate, have a bit of rest, and you are able to get better. And then now the lower respiratory tracts, now those ones tend to be below your vocal cords, so below your larynx, and they tend to be more severe in terms of disease, and sometimes they can be fatal. That's why now things like pneumonia and acute bronchitis come in. And now the symptoms that indicate there could be an issue in your respiratory system, they include having a cough, which can either be dry or productive. You could be sneezing, you could be having a running nose, it could be nasal congestion, and then this one could be having variation, like it could be in the evening or early in the morning is when the symptoms are worse. It could be a sore throat, it could be wheezing, it could be chest pain, it could be a difficulty breathing, or you having exercise intolerance. Let's say typically you do 3 flights of stairs comfortably, you get to a point where even just walking a few meters, you are getting breathless. And then it could be fevers as well. Now, so this one is a quote. When you have a flu and you take antibiotics, it clears in 1 week. But if you do nothing, it goes in 7 days. Essentially, we are trying to push you from taking antibiotics for your cold. Like most of you have, most of us, so to speak, have a habit, homa kidogo, umechukua antibiotics. It's not prudent because often the flu is because of a viral infection. And now, so the upper respiratory tract, commonly what we get is a common cold, and that's the type of viruses that are usually responsible for common cold. And then they enter the body through the mucous membranes of the nose and eyes, and then they can spread from person to person through respiratory secretions. Now, this is why they tend to be common in an overcrowding and in schools. So that's why when schools open, typically you will find your child getting these infections over and over again. It's more about the overcrowding. And then now manifestations, it could be rhinitis, whereby you're having issues around your nose, whether it's running or it's congested. It could be sinusitis, you're having difficulty a bit breathing or speaking properly. It could be an issue around inflammation of your throat, so you're having pain around there. Then it can be headache or a discharge through your nose and congestion. And now, so influenza, apart from now those viruses responsible for the common cold, influenza would typically cause a more severe infections. So when you get influenza, unlike the common cold, you're likely to get headache, you'd have fevers and chills, you might go to hospital worried it could be malaria even, you could have muscle aches, you could have the nasal discharge, still a dry cough, and a very sore throat. Now the influenza infection, it causes inflammation, and then now the respiratory tract, the way it works, you have some fine things called cilia. They usually push mucus. When you have an infection, they are not able to do their work, mucus accumulates and makes your symptoms worse. And then now, because of how severe it is, it can predispose you to getting a bacterial infection. So you have a co-infection of both a virus as well as bacteria. And then now, or it can just be by itself cause you to have viral pneumonia. Proceed. Now, so the treatment, it tends to be predominantly bed rest, and then get a bit of fluids, stay warm, and then now antiviral drugs like oseltamivir, they tend to be very expensive, so they tend to be saved for those who get very severe cases of the infection. And then prevention, there's a flu vaccine you can take. It provides protection, but not against all strains, but it protects you against the predominant strain for that year, because it's an annual vaccine. And then there could be things you do like hand washing as well as masking. Masking does not protect you from COVID alone, it protects you from all the respiratory infections. And now, so just to draw a bit of distinction between the cold and influenza. So you can see influenza tends to be severe, yeah? Like in terms of the headache, the body aches, the duration of disease. Sometimes you can have a cough for 3 or 4 weeks. You might be worried it could be TB, but more often than not, it's just an infection of influenza. And then sometimes you can have a bit of sneezing, and then the chest discomfort could also be present. And now, so sometimes the viral infection can progress, affect your bronchi and give you bronchitis. And then because of that accumulation of mucus, you could have a lot of difficulty breathing. But again, it usually tends to respond very well to, just anti-inflammatory medication. And then now sometimes you could be having a co-infection with bacteria, in which case a doctor might issue an antibiotic. Now, so in terms of signs and symptoms, again, just the same things occurring again, predominantly around your respiratory system, though you could have those systemic signs, like having generalized body aches, you could be having a bit of, weakness, malaise, as well as the muscle pains, and then the cough can or not produce the mucus. Treatment, again, is predominantly rest, drinking a lot of water, and managing the fevers. Remember, when you are having an infection, you are coughing, you are losing a lot of water, that's why you get tired. So making sure you're well hydrated goes a long way in terms of managing your symptoms. Now, so the reason why we have added this strep throat in this slide, this is one of those infections where you need to take an actual antibiotic. So it's caused by a streptococcal bacteria, and it predominantly gives you a very sore throat, and you could have a lot of difficulty swallowing, and then the doctor could describe it as tonsillitis. Now, so that's why it would look. You could look at your child, you could look at your partner, then you could see this, where the throat is looking very red, or you look at the tonsils and you can see streaks of white on it. It's probably indicative of a strep throat infection, and you need to see a doctor for necessary medication. Now, so those are the common symptoms. Again, so predominantly you'd have a bad fever, and then there's what we call swollen and tender lymph nodes. So lymph nodes, essentially around our neck, we have lymph nodes. When you're okay, they tend to be you can't feel them if you touch them. When you have an infection and you touch around your neck, you could have a bit of swelling, and some of them can be painful to touch. And then now treatment, again, is symptom management, and in this case, oral antibiotics will help to manage the infection. Now, so allergic rhinitis, it tends to be common, it tends to be undiagnosed. So here at home, your children might consider you to be their alarm, because you wake up in the morning, you're blowing your nose over and over again and sneezing, and everyone at home considers that is your normal. Actually, that is indicative of you having allergic rhinitis. You might, because of that constant blowing of the nose, you might develop a crease or like a slightly distorted shape of the nose because of that recurrent nasal congestion. Now, so the nose, the way it's designed, it's for temperature regulation, olfaction, humidification, and then as well as protection. So it means it's being exposed to your environment. And if there's anything in your environment that tends to trigger its immune responses, you'll end up getting those symptoms. And then it could be either allergic or non-allergic, though predominantly what is common is the allergic, whereby it's either the cold or pollen or strong scents triggering your symptoms. Now, so predisposing factors, it's genetic. So probably if there's a family history of allergic rhinitis, you're likely to have the same issue. And then for some people, it could be endocrine, whereby it's just your hormones. So most women, when they get to postmenopausal age, they do tend to start getting allergic rhinitis. It could be puberty, sometimes pregnancy, and then now there's the sensitivity as well as temperature changes, as well as your environment in terms of humidity and temperature differences. That's why sometimes you are told to buy a humidifier at home. Now, so precipitating factors essentially is the triggers, yeah? So all those triggers essentially things you need to avoid if you have a history of allergic rhinitis. So essentially the allergens could be house dust, dust mites. So you make sure your sheets and pillows are frequently washed, and preferably not with very strongly scented soaps. And then you need avoid feathers, even avoid animals, tobacco smoke, industrial chemicals, then the animals, and then lastly, disturbances in your normal nasal cycle. And then so the common allergens, you have your pollen, you have your mold, you have your insect, animals. So sometimes if you adopt a cat or a dog and you start getting a lot of nasal congestion, you probably need to give up the cat. And then sometimes it could be dust mites, and then sometimes it could be foods. So there are people who take, let's say, eggs or fish, it triggers their allergies, and some of the manifestations can be in terms of like having a running nose or recurrent nasal congestion. Now, so those are the signs and symptoms. Just a running nose predominantly. You could get a headache because you're blowing your nose a lot, and then it could also be an itchy nose. It could affect your eyes. You could have swollen, teary, very itchy eyes. And then now you spoke about the allergic salute earlier, and then you could have a loss of smell. And then so management, the first step is obviously avoidance. So know your allergens, avoid them. It's called keep warm. And then now you could use antihistamine. A doctor could give you some antihistamine. And then so the concern with antihistamine, especially the older ones, your Piriton, was it gives you a bit of sedation. So you want to go to work, you don't want to sleep, what do? There's a second generation of antihistamines like cetirizine and fexofenadine that tend to have a milder or no sedation effect. So in case you're having a problem with sedation, you can prefer the second generation of antihistamines. You could use decongestants where you put them into the nostrils to clear your nose. And then some eye preparations if your eyes are itching a lot, and then preventive therapy. These ones you use them, it helps to prevent the recurrence of symptoms. So you're having your intranasal corticosteroids, especially their nasal sprays, you just spray into your nose, and then cromolyn, it can be used in the nose or eyes. Again, it helps with the allergies. And then I think most of people who have a history of allergy or asthma, at some point, you have been prescribed for Montelukast. It's just a group of what we call leukotriene receptor antagonists. They do help manage your allergies. And then now, in rare cases, you could have surgical therapy done by an ENT specialist, which can be that to, take care of your sinuses or your septum, and those ones that have been shown to help with symptoms in the long run. And now lower respiratory infections, pneumonia is the main concern. Remember, so pneumonia, the thing is, if you feel any of the symptoms, and then if you have a high risk factor, especially if you're above the age of 65, or like a child who is under 6 years, presentation to hospital does ensure early intervention is done, and it does reduce the duration of disease as well as the risk of death. And now just a chest x-ray highlighting how it would look like in a case of pneumonia. Here, difficult to explain it in layman terms, but there's a bit of fluid in the chest. So when there's fluid in the chest, it means you're having difficulty breathing. Essentially, air is black in the x-ray, water would be a bit lighter. So where you are seeing a lot of gray in the chest, that's where the fluid is accumulating, and it's because of that infection. Such a person would have a lot of difficulty breathing, and that's why pneumonia has a very high risk of causing death. And then, so just highlighting the manifestations like fever, bluish skin, difficulty breathing, an increased pulse, a lot of mucus. Then it could be worse because your brain is not getting enough oxygen. You could have mental confusion. Now, just quickly to talk about TB. Now, TB predominantly is highlighted by a cough that lasts often more than 2 weeks. But the main thing that tends to distinguish it is like having these very profuse night sweats. So if you're not having profuse night sweats, even if the cough is there, it's not very severe, the likelihood of it being TB is very low, yeah? But regardless, if you're having a cough for more than 2 weeks, always good to see a doctor about it. Now, so some of the symptoms there, again, just highlighting the night sweats, the shortness of breath, as well as the pain in the chest you might get. And then lastly is coughing blood. So sometimes because of TB causes cavities, essentially holes in your chest, and in those holes there could be a bit of bleeding. So when you cough, you end up having a bit of blood. And that's what can even happen in a person who has been treated for TB. All right. Lastly, just to quickly highlight asthma, it's fairly common. What I would say about it first is reluctance to accept diagnosis. Most people, tend to be reluctant. You tell a person your child probably has asthma, and then they are not willing to accept the diagnosis for one reason or another. So they're not giving the medications frequently. And what ends up is your child gets a lot of absenteeism from school because they'll keep getting a recurrence of frequency of those symptoms like coughing, wheezing. And then also the other thing about it is you need to be very compliant to the treatment. Usually you are given a controller inhaler, which essentially means you give it every day even when there are no symptoms. Sometimes it can be very difficult to be disciplined, especially for a parent giving it to a child. So just I would emphasize drug compliance and acceptance of a diagnosis if it's given medically. Next slide. And then now, before we go to prevention, I'd also say one thing to keep in mind that can give you respiratory symptoms is your stomach. it tends to be rare, but sometimes a person with very bad reflux, they'll have a persistent cough, whereby, and it's because the acid coming to your throat will burn your throat, irritate it, induce a cough. So sometimes if you are having a very persistent cough that's not responding to treatment, it's always good to consider a possibility of it being an issue with your stomach, where reflux is affecting your throat. And then now in terms of prevention overall, there are vaccines like flu vaccine we have Vaxi-Grip and Influvac. So those ones will cover you for influenza, TB, and then BCGs against TB, predominantly given in the first month of life. And then other things you can do at home, at work, as a company, you ensure your offices, your rooms, they are well ventilated, facilities for hand hygiene. For those who are having issues with asthma or allergies, always know your allergens, your triggers, that is, and avoid them. And then occupational safety, if you're working in an environment with chemicals, always emphasize PPEs for your staff, because they could end up having long-term effects of those chemicals in terms of their respiratory system. And then whenever treatment is prescribed, especially treatment for asthma or antibiotics, always be compliant to it to completion. Just a quick highlighting, so childhood vaccines, we have what we call catch-up vaccines at AAR. These ones are, usually in terms of vaccine, you have your KP vaccines, and then KP vaccine is what the government has made mandatory, and the government provides it to every citizen. And then now sometimes there are some vaccines like those ones against meningitis that are not available in the KP schedule. So in case your child underwent the KP, you could do a catch-up vaccine with some of private vaccines not available in KP, also including things like typhoid. And then now adult private vaccines, there are numerous. Sometimes it can be for travel reasons. Maybe you are required to get your yellow fever shot before you travel. Yeah, and then now as we said earlier, the issue with the respiratory infection, they tend to be worse for extremes of age. Now remember, your children are taken care of because they are under the vaccination schedule. Sometimes we tend to forget our elderly population who are at a very high risk. So there are those vaccines recommended for them to protect them against pneumonia, as well as the flu and meningitis. And that one is also available, and the cost is highlighted there, and also the eligible population. All right, now I'm going to invite any questions from the audience. That is it from me. Thanks for listening, and I wish you guys a good afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Brian from AAR. Maybe if you have some burning issues, they also have a desk outside. They are here for us. You can always meet Daktari's team outside. Naona watu walikuwa wamekula zile mandoma wamelala. MDA, kuja utuenda jazz kidogo. MDA, ameuliza sijaona mkono ya mtu. Tutakupea session. MDA, changamsha watu.
Sawa. Hey, this is nice. I like the sound. Mko salama? You guys are good? Mbona, where are the energies? You guys are okay? What have you learned today, sir? What have you learned? One thing that stood out. TB. Iko na tiba. Chairman?
Meningitis.
Iko na mende.
Pana vaccines. Mezendea vaccines.
Excellent. Your Highness?
For me, okay, just take care of yourself.
You take care of yourself, Very important. Okay, raise up on your feet, Let's stretch it out a bit. Najua mekaa chini for a long time. Let's ensure that our energies are up as you stretch. All right, put your hands apart. Your hands apart, excellent. Raise both hands up. To your right, to your left. Take it down, bring it up, and back. Excellent. Let's do something. Let's do something I've never done before. We want to spell the word Ketraco using our bodies. Ketraco using our bodies. Have you ever tried that before? Able to jaribu. We are spelling the word Ketraco using our bodies. Now, ngisema K uende hivi. Sasa. So K tunashuka, tunalenga. And then the name is E. Are we ready? Mimi najaribu kwa kazi, wewe unakuja unaniangalia tuna stand chat marathon. Kuja. Lete hapa. We are spelling it together. How can I be wasting my saliva and you're just looking at me? We start. Chairman, due to public demand. Lenga, down. Chini kila mtu, up. Lenga, up. The other side, go down, and then chini, 3, 2, 1, go, twende, na chini, and then dash. C, how do you do a C? C, letter O, 3, 2, 1, go, O, bado tujaona, letter O. Chairman, DJ, give me some music. Hapa naenda tunaenda dance na wewe. Chairman, DJ, kila mtu, let's go. Give me your elbows.
my strong face. For me something my strong face. Kugamba my strong face. Ozambe kufurahi, mbuza kwe marira. Ozambe zibyo kwe marira. Mbuzi zetabya, mbuzi zetabya. When I'm standing up, take it up. Double dance and it was a day you rush.
Wait. Thank you. Chakula zingine digestion ina take long time. Into our next is somebody from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. Do you know we have a committee? I see committee in Ketraco. Who? Now the expert atatuambia kama you are correct, kama utakula lunch. Now our next presenter has a Masters of Arts in Armed Conflict and Peace Studies.
Okay, good morning. Is it? Not morning, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. Is it morning? No, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. I feel that you've just had some sessions here that were for your wellness. And the kind of response I'm getting is like the wellness bit has not sunk in. But I keep saying, the wellness bit seemed not to have sunk in, because the response shows me that there could be some disjunct. Okay, fine. As you've been told, I want to take us through national values and principles of governance. It's a very well-designed occasion because you've just talked about wellness. So wellness and national values, these two, when you juxtapose the two, do we see connectedness or do we see disconnect? I think going back to the year 2007 and 8, we realized that there was a disconnect between our wellness as a nation. You know, wellness is not just biological, it's also social. So socially we demonstrated that we were unwell, and that's why we had to seek for social experts to come and help us regain our wellness in terms of national cohesion and unity. So when the government realized that we were not a nation that was well in terms of uniting with each other, in terms of being cohesive with each other, the government had to come up with a program, that is the program of mainstreaming national values and principal governance in ministries, departments, and agencies. So that is what we've been doing to ensure that even at Ketraco, we know that your mandate is to design, implement, high voltage energy transmissions. Then you could do that, but if there is no cohesiveness in the country, then the whole idea may not see the light of the day. So we intend to ensure that at the end of this session, you will have understood the national values that aid in building the bonds that have been broken, social bonds, political bonds that have been broken, that are made us almost get into a failed state status in the year 2007 and 8. Then another objective that we have for this is that at the end of the session, you should or you ought to have been in a position to illustrate how your mandate helps in advancing or realizing national values that is so pivotal for us to have a transformed nation that we talk about in Vision 2030, which is an economic blueprint that we came up with in the year 2008. So the presentation will revolve around these discussion points. And just to let us have understanding, national values, these are beliefs of a nation, guiding its behaviors, actions, and they do this to the citizens. So I began by saying that the wellness of the nation socially and politically was tested in the year 2007 and 8. So the need to understand before we implement national values in our functions, in our job descriptions as officers of Kenya Electricity Transmission Company. Then principles of governance. We say that these are the normative standards that oblige. In a way, they are mandatory precepts that the nation or the state, because we know that we have a state, are tied to, so that in what the state does, the state made up of ministries, departments, and agencies, made up of actors that are in government, for it to function in a manner that may not again lead us into the breakdown that we had in 2007, 2008, there are principles of governance that all of us, you included because you are a state agency. Then, constitutional provisions. We have various sections of the Constitution that highlight national values. By the way, it's very core. I was telling Kipsang before I came on stage that as at now when you come to the Public Service Commission for an interview, I at times sit in those interviews. Get is on national values. We'll tie it to what you do at Ketraco. And we'll want to see the linkage that you can give it with what you do at Ketraco, whether you are an engineer at Ketraco or whether you are an economist at Ketraco like my friend Ototo. You will have to demonstrate that you understand the linkage between values and what you do at Ketraco. So we say that in the Constitution, the preamble states that we are aspiring as Kenyans, we are aspiring to have a government that is based on national values and principles of governance that are expressed in Article 10 of the Constitution, which includes just a few as I've outlined there: equality, freedom, and the rest. Then Article 4, Part 2 domiciles national values by saying that Kenya is a multi-party democratic state founded on national values and principles of governance. So in a way, we are saying that as a state that we have, we are premised on national values and principles of governance. Then again, Article 10 outlines national values that we are talking about. Remember, I said that the wellness of the nation vis-a-vis national values. So national values as the antidote that is coming in to cure the ailments that we saw in the year 2007, 2008. So Article 10, Part 1 states that national values, they are binding. And that's why Mr. Kipsang, who is in the committee, knows, Mr. Toto is also in the committee, knows, that you are bound at Ketraco because you are a state agency. It binds four categories of persons. It binds state officers, public officers, state organs, as well as all individuals. That is, notwithstanding whether you serve the nation in a state corporation or a ministry. Then whenever you do what? Whenever you apply or interpret the Constitution, that is a context. Then another context is whenever apply or interpret any law. I know that Ketraco is premised on a certain act of parliament, because that is where you get your mandate as Ketraco. Apply any public policy decision. I know that you do a lot of this. You do implement a lot of public policy decision, like when the CS for Energy has said that we want to increase power connectivity maybe in this part of the country. You see, that is a policy decision. So Ketraco is obliged, courtesy of national values, to ensure that you implement that, because that is what the values in Article 10 prescribes for you. Then another section of the Constitution where we find national values is Article 132, Part 1, that mandates the President to once every year report in an address to the nation on measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values and principles of governance. We've done this for the last 13 years, since we promulgated the new Constitution. The requirement is that the President has to report on what has been done. And the President does it only through Ketraco, through other government agencies or ministries, on measures taken. So what measures Ketraco taken? And Ketraco is an abstraction. You see, Ketraco is, like any other entity, it's an artificial entity, artificial person. So it must have a natural person who is you and other colleagues that I've mentioned that I have acquaintance with, that you are a Ketraco. You serving maybe as an engineer, serving as an economist. So measures that are to be taken, they must originate from you as an individual at Ketraco. What you do, whether you are a receptionist or whether you are doing whichever you are doing at Ketraco, is what culminates into the measures that the President reads in Parliament as per Article 132 of the Constitution. Then it's usually gazetted. Refers to the love, the devotion, yes, that you show to your country. Are you devoted? Or is it because of some other, marginal issues that you are devoted to serve the country? You see, some persons usually say that patriotism is, the last refuge of a scoundrel. No, that is not the case. We are saying that patriotism is actual, and you can demonstrate it as an officer from Ketraco. So we are saying that you should endeavor to love this nation that you are in. God, in his wisdom, planted you in this country. So we are saying that you should love the country through payment of taxes. I know you as an individual, you pay taxes, but Ketraco as an artificial individual pays what we call corporate taxes. So it's the corporate taxes that Ketraco pays that is a culmination of your effort as an officer at Ketraco. So again, we talk about buying Kenyan-made goods. We do not want to show preference for other countries' productions. Then the second national value is national unity, which is in Swahili is known as umoja wa kitaifa, which we indicate refers to, these are the elements. It refers to the decision to work with others in pursuit of common goals. And how do we tell this is patriotism? When you work with others, you are stationed at Ketraco, you have a colleague in the office, are you talking with the colleague, not just talking for purposes of passing time. We are saying that, are you able to work with somebody from other community, ethnic community? Are you able to work with somebody from another race? Are you able to work with somebody from another region of the country? That is what we say is confined in the slogan that one Kenya, one people, one destiny, that we keep on putting across. So you should pursue interests that are for the benefit of the country. That is when we do advance national unity. Sharing and devolution of power is the third national value. And in this case, we are talking about, in Swahili, it is ugatuzi, ugavi wa mamlaka, na ugatuzi wa mamlaka or others. Then it's a governance system. This is a governance system where we've decentralized power, we've decentralized resources to other units within the country. You see there is a difference between decentralization and deconcentration. So in our case, we're talking about decentralization. We are not like in the US where you have 54 federal states which are deconcentrated. They haven't decentralized like us. So that is a case that we're talking about. So at Ketraco, we ask you as an officer at Ketraco that pursue this. When you're given an assignment or when you're given an opportunity to do a proposal, you need to take into cognizance the fact that we have 47 county national governments. When you are implementing a program somewhere, take note of the existence of these governments. In February, we had a program with the county governments, and we were moving around the county governments to, again, build the capacity of their boards. So we were saying that government agencies that are national like Ketraco, when you go to Mombasa or you go to Kisumu or when you go to Kitale, you need to see a way in which you can synergize, seek, or even do some courtesy call so that we decentralize resources in terms of even knowledge sharing. Then we look at rule of law. And in this, we are saying rule of law is, a legal maxim that requires us to, every person to be, subordinate to the law. In this case, we are saying that you adhere to the rule of law when you are an individual that, or a person that submits. Do you submit? Do you obey the law? A number of occasions when I was with the committee last year, discussing with the friends such as Mr. Toto, guys such as Mercy, we're looking at when you are implementing your programs, issues of way leaves. Do you take into cognizance that people have rights to, those are indications that as an officer, you are the last person to come in to demonstrate that Ketraco is adhering to the rule of law. For instance, I've just given a picture of your CEO having, when you participate even in these legal contexts, like where he participated in, it demonstrates that you are submitting to legal strictures. So that is another one. Then democracy and the participation of the people as a value and also as a principle of governance. We're talking about a government that, embraces a political culture where you allow citizens to exercise direct or indirect, participation in running the affairs of the state. And I've seen on certain occasions, for instance, you had public participation meetings. That's an, exposition of the fact that Ketraco is alive to this national value on democracy and participation. So it calls upon you that from this sensitization, you should advance this much more. For instance, this public participation meeting, you sought views, and you've had on a number of occasions where public participation has led to even certain projects being halted in the Republic. And you see, Ketraco is a national installation, so you are expected to adhere to this. Then human dignity is a value, what we refer to as hadhi ya binadamu, where we say that it is the right. We are saying that we need you to get the elements. It's whether it is gender, nationality, whether it is class or whatever case. So in this case, for instance, when you look at needy persons, you help persons, like what you've just done. I came in when you had the wellness, presentation here. This is an act that I was telling the committee, then they've scored on that because you held a wellness workshop. You'll submit evidence that you held it here at, it's called The Edge, yes? So those are the indications that you are valuing officers at Ketraco. You are treating them with respect. You want them not to have depression. You want them not to have mental problems. So you want them to be persons who are dignified. Equity, we refer to that quality of being fair, impartial treatment of others, ensuring that the outcome of what you do to a person or persons, results into, impartial outcomes. So in that case, we are saying that measures that you undertake as you connect the nation to high voltage power, in whichever capacity that you've been put in, you should endeavor to ensure that there is that action that you are taking to ensure that there is fairness in what you do, because that is, equity. You can see the two pictures that I've juxtaposed. The two pictures elaborate so well, where you'd, get equity or equality. So depending on what you do at Ketraco, take that into cognizance. Then social justice, in this case, we are referring to a situation where you are fair in distribution of resources in a just manner within the societal context. That is what social justice is. And in this case, for instance, how do you treat your customers? Yes, I think on a number of occasions I've come to Kawi House. How do you treat your customers? Do you have customer service desks? You know, is there a courteous treatment of even the stakeholders that you have when you're constructing the high voltage power lines that you do? You know, or are you just rush with them? So that's what we call social justice. Inclusiveness, which is a value that refers to, that is ensuring that you involve people. There is much more engagement of people that you deal with. Not just implementing projects, programs that you have for power connectivity without taking into account persons who, and that's why you have project affected persons. Many of the times when I write a report with your committee, they talk about project affected persons. Do you involve them in decision making? That is when you refer to, that's when you score on inclusiveness. So in this case, for instance, the pictorial that I have here, I think you had a forum somewhere, so you had to engage the stakeholders. I think it was in Kakamega. That's what I saw. So in that case, then you are scoring on inclusiveness. So it's just a call for you to do this more. Then the 10th value, equality, that is ensuring that there's equal measure in treatment of persons. You recall I gave you a juxtaposed picture of equality vis-a-vis equity. So for equality, you are concerned with equal treatment, not fair treatment, equal treatment. You are not concerned with the outcome. It's input, not the output that you are concerned with in such a context. So in this case, we are saying that ensure that you advance this by implementing programs, projects that help in advocating for that. Then human rights. Haki za binadamu. We are saying that these are rights that are God-given. They're inherent. They inhere in you. You get them the moment you become a human being. And in this case, we are saying they include there are quite a number. You have the right to health. Indeed, what you've done with the Chiromo and AAR here will help you to score on this. Remember the 17 values. And I think for the last 3 years that I've been with the committee, you've been scoring 100%. So these are what you will be using. So the staff must know that they need to participate in these kind of exercises that have been held here for you today, because it advances the right to health. When the doctor from Chiromo was taking you through what you need to do so that you can have mental wellness, then the doctor from AAR also expounded on a number of health issues. So that is to enable you to get mental, health empowerment for you to live a healthy life, which is advancing the right to health. So quite a number of values, a number of activities that you may execute to promote that value. Non-discrimination as a value and also a principle of governance. In this case, we are saying that you avoid prejudices. The one word that I may use here is that you avoid prejudices, notwithstanding those, people like pigeonholing persons, maybe whether you are a woman or whether you are a youth or whether you are a person with disability. We say we don't want pigeonhole persons. We don't want to use what we call half-truths, that a person from this community does this. Persons from this community have this queer behavior. That is discrimination. We are saying you avoid that, reject that. And in that case, we are saying that you ought to adopt non-discriminatory practices in your programs, projects, and activities. And I know you deal with stakeholders a lot out in the field, because your work is field-based. For instance, you look at this picture. These are, I didn't get one from your social media handles, but I could borrow this from Safaricom. These are a Safaricom service attendant serving this disabled person who could not scale the staircases to get into the service room, and even ensuring that he helps, she helps the person to get his credit card loaded into his phone. That's what we want you to embed at Ketraco in whatever you're doing with the stakeholders that you engage with. Then protection of marginalized, in this case, we are giving indicators of it being safeguarding the livelihoods of those who are or were, disadvantaged through exclusion. It can be historical, it can be, circumstantial. So we are saying that that is the case of protection of the marginalized persons are persons of such a nature. So how do we ensure that we address this so that the president would read that we've done this to protect the marginalized? We are giving an instance where you have in the Constitution Article 2 or 4 that the government has put in place a number of initiatives like the Youth Empowerment Fund, Women, Fund, Ways of Fund. These are meant to ensure that the persons who have been marginalized, like women, for so long, because Kenya is a patriarchal society, youth for so long, then even persons with disability for so long have been marginalized because of the circumstances. That's why I say this can be circumstantial or it can be historical. Historical because as a colonial state of British, the British had this disposition of looking down upon the women folk. So that is how we inherited the patriarchal disposition. So we are saying that the government is correcting this. So the same is what you need to do, like AGOPO. Whenever you implement AGOPO for officers who are in procurement, they call it supply chain management. And you as an officer, notwithstanding whether you are in that department, you have a role to play to ensure that you do not, marginalize persons, even in implementing programs and projects that you have at Ketraco. You can see persons who've been marginalized, kids learning under a tree, that's an indication of marginalization. So we are saying that a lot of things that you do, at times the CSR that you do to even build schools, they help in ensuring that persons who have been marginalized, like in Turkana or places such as Northeastern, that historically through colonial politics were marginalized, you help in the government in addressing or protecting the marginalized. Then the 14th value is good governance. And we are saying that this refers to putting in place systems and structures to ensure that there is efficiency and effectiveness in the delivery of services. Yes. Indeed, when you come to the panel of the Public Service Commission, those are the guys, they look at, can you bring and package this value through your mandate? Yes, you want to become a director at Ketraco. Can you package this so that the government can give you this responsibility? So I'm saying that this is what we need to also take into account as officers at Ketraco. For instance, the staff ought to adopt measures for enhancement of efficient and effective service delivery. Now the onus is on you. How are you going to do this? Yes, you are serving in various capacities. Are you going to help the government to deliver efficient and effective services at Ketraco? I say that Ketraco is artificial, so the natural persons there are you. So that's why it is imperative that you get to understand and apply this. Because good governance is a concentric of values. It has participatory, it has inclusion, it has rule of law. So it's a concentric of values that we've talked about in the previous instance. Then the 15th value is integrity. Here we talk about consistency in your words, yes, beliefs and actions. Are you a person who what you say is in tandem with what you believe? Is what you believe in tandem with what your actions demonstrate? So we are saying that this has to be shown in execution of your mandate. And your mandate is so elaborate and expansive. The second last value is transparency accountability, where we talk about wazi na uwajibikaji, and in that case we are talking about sharing information in a manner that is visible. And also we are saying that taking account, being accountable for your actions. So the two, these are composite value that you cannot have transparency without accountability. So how would you demonstrate that in Ketraco? For instance, I've just given a pictorial of your stand during, I think you had, you participated in a fair sometimes back, Bwana Kipsang. That was an exposition of the fact that you are making persons, the public, know the kind of services that you offer, what you do, how you even compensate the project affected persons. I think such questions do arise at your starts. People don't at times know what you do. So when you make people get to know that Ketraco is in charge of high voltage lines and Kenya Power is in charge of this, that is promoting what you call transparency and accountability. Then the last value is sustainable development. I did get you well. You are asking? Thank you. So you are illustrating. Thank you. I like it. He's already got the concept and he's giving an illustration. Such an illustration, bro, when you give to the Public Service Commission, then you would have scored on national values. Thank you. So we are saying that sustainable development as a value, it refers to undertaking development in a manner that does not preclude enjoyment of the same benefits by persons who would come after us, that is the posterity. In that case, we are saying that there are a number of ways that you are obligated to adopt measures for sustainability. And a number of times that I've been discussing with your committee, I think for the 3 last years I've been engaged with the committee in doing the report, and a lot of insights that I've got, that you have a lot of sustainability undertakings. Because sustainability is all about, taking care of the environment, take care of the human force, the workforce that you have in terms of ensuring that there is intergenerational connectivity. That is between persons who are living for this position and the persons who is being mentored for the next, so that Ketraco does not lose all the manpower, all the skills that it has. That's an aspect of sustainable development at Ketraco. And even acquiring scientific innovations that help you in executing your mandate in a more efficient and effective. Because an aspect of sustainable development also has technology issues to do with innovation and the rest. What you've undertaken to ensure that there is no lapse in your activities. For instance, the pictorial of when you participated in this tree planting activity, but not so, you have a lot I saw from your secondary data that I got access to. I want to stop by saying that it's your responsibility as a staff of Ketraco to enhance the promotion of national values, which is meant to enable us to realize socio-economic and political transformation. You recall we talked about Vision 2030, which is our economic blueprint. It has the 3 pillars, and in the 3 pillars, the social pillar talks about attaining, development in a clean and secure environment. The economic pillar talks about Kenya achieving economic development at the rate of what percent? 10%, of the GDP up to the year 2030. You recall the last time we were about to reach 10% was in 2007, then hell broke loose. Of late, we've been oscillating between 4 to 5. So then the other pillar, the last one, is on what we talk about as political pillar. That is politics that is issue-based. Decisions that you make, even at Ketraco, is political in that it has to be issue-based. The issues, not the personalities, not the individuals. So at the end of the day, you are so crucial. I usually tell the committee whenever we meet that you are so crucial for the attainment of Vision 2030, because what you do is a mega undertaking for the government to realize the aspirations in Vision 2030, whose overarching goal is having a prosperous and competitive nation by the year 2030. I want to end at that point and thank you for your attentiveness. I know that you've had a lot, but you've so far so good grasped something on this very crucial endeavor that the government has undertaken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kefa,
yes,
for the presentation. I want us to give ourselves a round of applause. Hata mjauliza ni ya nini? Not for listening, for always scoring 100% on these national values. And I think Mr. Kefa here can attest. Ketraco, in all the 17 values, at least there is somewhere that we've scored on all the 17 values. So, engineer, you are right. You earn a lunch. Integrity is one of the core values, national values. Utakaa kwa high table pale mbele. So, according to our program, we were supposed to break for lunch. We want to save on time. We were supposed to break for lunch at 1, but we want to conclude the indoors activities so that when we break for lunch, we just go direct to the field. Oh, you have a, lakini sikae sana engineer. Unajua si UPIT meeting hii.
We started with I pledge my love to the nation of Kenya. Those old people used to be moralized because of that. Where does these like the national flag, the song, the word, these things we do, where do they fall in the 17?
Patriotism.
Sir.
But ikwe.
Swali yangu ni kidogo tu. Yes, to Mr. Kefa. I remember those days when I used to go to school, those many years ago. We used to have something called the National Pledge. Yes. I realized that since we promulgated the new constitution, our allegiance must have changed and we no longer pledge our allegiance to the presidency. But how can we inculcate in our young generation a culture of patriotism? Because I remember those days, and I still remember the words that we used to say in that national pledge. They still carry us along in practicing patriotism as a Kenyan and the values that we had then. What is your commission even doing to ensure that these values that you've showed us here are inculcated into the young generation? Thank you.
Mr. Presenter just touched to the same. If you see the way we used to sing the national anthem those days, and the way we have sung today, it's a big difference. What are you doing to return to those old days? Or this is Gen Z's times? I don't know.
Nasikia Gen Z wanatoa remix ya national anthem. So
okay, thank you so much for those pertinent questions. What we are saying is that loyalty pledge was viewed as a personalization of power. You see, there is a power that is decentralized, but power that is personalized is what we are moving away from, Because one of the issues that the panel of eminent persons led by Annan Kofi found out that personalization of state apparatus is what could also have contributed to the 2007-2008 catastrophe. So the government has come up with the basic education, the reviewed basic education curriculum, which currently is CBE. Initially it was CBC. And the director was very, very phenomenal in the, construction as well as the formulation. Deployed in schools, we ensure that we have them in a number of regions. We have 8 regions in the country. So they are deployed in those regions, regional schools, to really just bring out aspects of national values, especially patriotism, so that the learners can be nurtured in values and also, practice values as they come out. So those are the instances. And again, even the youth who we find in the universities, Commission for University Education obligated that each and every university, whenever you go first year, the orientation subjects, I recall during our days orientation was on science and technology, issues to do with the health. So presently, Commission for University Education, all public universities have to give orientation on national values and principal governance as a core unit for the first years. So,
Dr. Rosa, this is a very interesting topic. She'll be taking us through emotional intelligence. Karibu, Dr. Rosa.
Good afternoon. Kindly, I request you to stand up and stretch. I'm a teacher, and you've been sitting. Stretch. Please stretch and feel good about yourself, and I promise you, two will not find me here. An agreement? Yeah, because I'm sure biologically speaking, we are somewhere else. So I am only requesting you, kindly be with me. Will you be with me for the next 30 minutes? Kindly, I will keep to that. Stretch, sit down and tell someone what you learned from my first session. Uliza wewe ulisoma nini wewe? Hebu uliza mwenzako. From the first session. Okay. Thank you. You know you don't fight with biology, with the true nature of a person. So I just want to talk briefly, and I will not go into details, but I will highlight what is important so that latest two I'm out of this place. I want to talk about emotional intelligence. Something has happened. EQ, at times it's called EQ, at times it's called EI. And I'm looking at emotional intelligence as a catalyst for holistic well-being. We are basically talking about well-being. So when you talk about EQ, technology, I tell you, always have a backup. Anything can happen anywhere. Now you can see. Okay. Emotional intelligence. Okay. I want to quote just remove that first. Okay. Let's hope it works. My minutes are still moving. Okay, thank you, I appreciate. Allow me quote, and so this is another moment of reflection for all of us. Allow me quote Aristotle the Great. Aristotle the Great said, anyone can be angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy. And there goes the role of emotional intelligence. The role of emotional intelligence. If you look at those photographs there, I want to believe you can see the role of emotions in our lives. And as we say in psychology, emotions are the primary driver of our behavior. We behave because we feel or we are experiencing some emotions. Empirical findings indicate that emotional intelligence accounts for 67 of the abilities considered necessary for superior performance. Do you want to become a performer and a superior performer within your organization? If yes, then EQ plays a critical role. It plays a 67% of your performance, and then 33% to other things. And it is said that EQ is 200% more important than high IQ. IQ is the intelligence quotient. You know those brilliant people? It's about intelligence quotient. I would want us to understand emotions as data. Emotions are not problems to be solved. They are signals to be interpreted. When you speak to me and I get angry, what does that tell me? That anger, that emotion, what does it tell me? Because I don't get angry with everybody. At what point do I get angry? I get angry when someone demeans me. Then that tells me that I value to be respected. So that emotion at that time, it just tells me, Rose, you value respect. So always look at your emotions as data. And data, those who have done research, data refers to what? Information used to reason, to analyze something in order to make a decision. So always understand your emotions as data. What do they tell you? What do emotions tell you about your value? What do emotions tell you about your needs? If there's anything that triggers my negative emotions, especially anger, is when I see someone bullying someone else. I have a problem with bullies. What does that tell me? I value respect. Not only for me, even for someone else. Even watching on telly, someone bullying another one, that in itself triggers anger in me. So that tells me, Rose, you value respect, and that is very, very important. So for you, what your emotions tell you about your values as well as your needs in general. The question is, what am I feeling right now? And what does the data say about my values and needs right now? What are you feeling? And what are my emotions telling me about my values and my needs? So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence refers to your capacity, my capacity to identify and manage my own emotions and emotions of others. Can I tell when I am getting angry? Can I tell it? Can I tell when I am moving from anger to bitterness to rage? Can I tell it? That awareness and the ability to manage it is emotional intelligence. So don't tell me, do you know when I get angry, do you know what I can do? Not that you know what you can do. What are you doing about it? Am I communicating? That's what emotional intelligence is all about. Capacity to be aware, to identify your own emotions and manage them, and also manage other people. Can I tell when a colleague is crossing his or her lines, her boundaries? Can I tell when I am getting irritated with somebody? Can I tell me? Can I tell when someone's way of speaking is triggering anger in me? Can I tell? And if I can tell, can I manage me before I manage others? That's what we call emotional intelligence. And if you are here and you are a leader, let me tell you, EQ is very important for you. But you know, the first leadership is leading yourself before you lead others. If you can't lead you, it will be very hard for you to lead other people. So that's what emotional intelligence is all about. It's about me and other people. Before I slap my child, can I tell I am irritated with my child? And if I can tell, am I able to manage me? So instead of slapping, what can I do to me? And then later on, we can talk about disciplining the children. Why do you think those many years teachers will beat children to a point of even death? It's because they are not able to manage their own emotions. And that raises the importance of emotional intelligence. So what is EQ? EQ has 4 competencies. Very important. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management, full stop. And once I address that, I'll be done. I request the MC, kindly alert me. I must end by 2. I have to be faithful to my words. Self-awareness, self-management. Take note of something. There is the aspect of me, and there is the aspect of emotions and bodily sensations as they happen. You see, before I get angry, how do I know I'm angry? There's the physiological changes. To some people, they may start shaking, others they start sweating, others they start having a headache. What is your physiological change? What are your red flags, you as a person, that I'm getting angry? We are all unique. Some people, when they start getting angry, they start losing patience with somebody. What is your red flag? Once you know that, that's what you mean by self-awareness. Now, allow me say that between the stimulus, what is provoking you, and the response you give, there is a space. You call me a name that hurts me. Before I respond to you, there is a space. And that space lies your power. Someone accuses you falsely, before you respond, there is a space between the stimulus and the response. There lies your response, and there lies your power. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space. And that space is what we call self-management. You abuse me, I can tell I'm getting hurt, but before I answer you, there is a space, and there lies my growth. There lies my choice. And there lies your power in emotional intelligence. So after I am aware about my own emotions, then I'm able to manage myself. I said self-awareness is the heartbeat of change. You will never change that which you are not aware of. So once I'm aware, then now I manage myself. That's what we call self-management. Ability to control both positive and negative emotions. Can you tell that you are shouting a lot? Can you tell? Then you manage yourself. There goes self-management. Is managing emotions to prevent Do you know the things that easily trigger you? I know mine. Oh, I can tell. I might not control, but I can manage me. There's an environment that just triggers my emotion. I am well aware. I might not manage everybody around me, but I can manage me as a person. So if I find myself in that environment and I need the help of that person who has that characteristic, I will manage myself because I need that person. I need help from that person. That person is part of my team. I need him, I need her. So it's for me to manage myself. Do you know your emotional triggers? As you work as a department, as you work in Ketraco, are you aware of your emotional triggers? As a father, as a mother, do you know your emotional triggers? There are moments I say I will close my eyes and assume I didn't see that for now, because I know what I have seen is enough to trigger my emotions. So it's very important, self-awareness. Then once I am self-aware, I am socially, I manage me, then I become socially aware. What is social awareness? It is your ability to pick up emotions in other people. You can look at somebody and you're like, you don't look good today. You don't look good today. But you cannot see other people's emotions if you can't see yours. It starts with you. Or will you be this type of a person who will say in the office, hey, today some people, I don't know, they woke up on which side of the bed. Now you are not socially aware. You are not emotionally intelligent. The truth is you have seen, but the way you are addressing it is wrong. Now you are a trigger. You who is saying that, you already are a trigger. Because you are targeting somebody, so you are not emotionally intelligent. That's what I would say. So social awareness, as a leader, can you pick when one of your team members doesn't look okay? Can you pick that emotion? That's what I'm talking about. You know, at times you come to our offices and you don't know what happened at night. Could be that person did not sleep at home, the baby was sick or something happened. They will still show up in the office because they have to come. But you can look at somebody and realize, you don't look okay today. And let me tell you, it feels good. I don't know for others. For me, when someone looks at me and asks me, Doc, is everything okay? Just that concern, nothing else. It means somebody cares. It means somebody's care. It is even beautiful when it is your supervisor. It is even more encouraging. Someone is saying, no, I'm okay, as usual, Africans. But let me tell you, when I sit down, I'll be like, yeah, at least someone is concerned. And I can still come and talk to you. Life happens, let me tell you. Life happens. And at times, not at times, we'll always need each other. That's what we mean by social awareness. But for you to practice social awareness, one of the most important skills is empathy. Empathy. taking the position of as if. Someone tells you they are having issues with their line manager or supervisor, and they tell you what they are going through, but you imagine it is you going through that. That's what we mean by empathy. Because if I am empathetic, I'll be very careful what I tell you. Sitakwambia ni kidogo sana, nini na kustress. If I imagine myself going through that, then I will feel it, and it will determine what I will tell you. Empathy is very important. And that's why when people go for counseling, one of the important skills for a counselor is empathy. Taking the position of us. If you imagine, if it were you, what would you be going through? Empathy is very, very important. Then once I am socially aware, I can pick other people's emotions in my team, then I engage the other skill of relationship management. I am a strong believer as a leader. Leadership is about inspiring people to achieve a common goal. That's what I believe. As a leader, you can inspire your team to the point that they are giving their best. That's what leadership is about. It's about influence. It's not about positions. It's about influence. It's about inspiring others. It's not about positions. Its ability to inspire through persuasive communication, motivation, building bonds, and disarming conflict among individuals. My experience for the many years I've worked, because I've worked for many years, the hardest thing is to work under an insecure leader. If you work under an insecure leader, be it a line manager, be it a supervisor, whosoever it is, it will be very hard. Some people ask me, Doc, no, what happens if it is your immediate, the manager who has issues? Ukimwangalia the EQs iko chini kabisa, how do you tell your manager? I tell them wisdom. You don't tell your manager that, but you look for a person at the same level. You have a word, then it's that person to reach out to them. But you cannot just go, you can't. That's not, it's actually disrespectful. So please remember, you use your awareness. Oh, I have seen Jane today looks a little bit down. Then that determines my communication with her that day. There are moments someone will irritate you. Most as a parent, what do? You tell the child, tutonge yo jioni. You see, why jioni? I will have managed myself so that I will not react. I was a high school teacher, and I'm telling you, if there's anything that is hard those days was discipline, and I was in charge of discipline. A child has done something so bad, and you can feel, and it was the day of caning, you can feel it. But because I'm in touch with me, I tell the child, you go, I'll call you later. Why am I asking the child to go? To manage me. Once I manage me, then come, let's talk. Now we can talk. That's what emotional intelligence is all about. So that emotions don't drive us. And when emotions drive us, our relationships will be affected. Harmony within. Simunimalizia. Harmony around. Emotional intelligence will help you maintain harmony within and harmony around you. Emotional intelligence. Social skills are the skills we use to communicate. We need to, and it's both verbal or non-verbal. I don't need to shout at you to know that I have a problem. The look I give you, much or two, especially for us ladies, much or eyes communicate so many things. I don't need to open my mouth for you to get to know what I'm saying. Growing up, how many of us, when visitors would come, your mom's eyes would communicate to you, don't you dare touch anything on that table. We call it non-verbal communication. Thank you. Non-verbal communication. So please note that you need social skills. The one person might be asking, then Doc, if that is what you mean by emotional intelligence, how do I improve the 4 skills, the 4 components? How do I improve self-awareness? Number 1, please see yourself for who you are. Appreciate you for who you are. Don't wish you are someone else. Appreciate your personality, strengths, and weaknesses, and start working on your weaknesses. Self-awareness is important. There's no good or bad personality. They all have strengths and weaknesses. Number 2, watch your emotions. Get to understand what triggers your emotions, especially anger. What is this? I can tell you, I know mine. I know. By the way, there is nothing wrong with being triggered. It is what you do after you are triggered that is the elephant in the house. Are you able to manage yourself? We have no control over the environment, but you have control over yourselves. You have no control over other people. Track and backtrack your emotions. After you've had a very bad emotional outburst, sit down and ask yourself, by the way, what happened? This, I did this. Reevaluate yourself. And I'm like, I think next time, when I start shaking, that's enough to tell me mambo ni mabaya. I need to walk. I need to take a break so that it does not repeat yourself. Go back to yourself and track your emotions. The last one is own your actions. It's because of what you did that I did. Own your actions. Remember, between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. There lies your power. There lies your choice. And that you need to take your power back. Especially those who are married, it's because you say it. It's because, please own your actions. Once you do that, it will be easier for you to move forward. How do I improve social awareness about other people? Active listening. Have you ever talked to somebody and you felt wasted? Have you ever talked to someone and you felt abused? Someone is talking, tulikuwa nasema nini? And then you are like, so where were you all this time that I was talking? Active listening. Please, be an active listener. When someone is talking to you, is it possible you stop what you are doing and you just listen? Especially for our children. Stop it. Just listen. Eye contact is very important. We call it active listening. If I'm a senior somebody and a junior comes into my office and knocks the door, sincerely speaking, everybody has a desire to be affirmed in this life. Can I just, it's true I was typing an email. Kindly come in, sit, allow me finish this. Then once I finish, how can I be of help to you? And I give, even if it's 2 minutes, that in itself communicates your social awareness skills are good. Very good. So that's how you improve social awareness. Maintain eye contact, empathy, and suspend judgment. Have you ever talked to somebody, you are speaking to them about an issue, but they are busy formulating a problem instead of listening to you? And there are times, I don't know whether it is me, there are moments you talk to people, not because you want solutions. You just want to talk. Are there people like me? Ama ni mimi peke yangu? Are there people who just, at times you want to speak because you just want to let it out, and not because you want solutions? Now you're talking to somebody, hata hujamaliza sentence, ameanza kukupea solution. And you are wondering, please, suspend all judgments. I've come to see you. In my head, you are talking to me. Si hata ulikuwa hapa last week. Si hata last month ulikuwa hapa. So you are talking to me, but in my head, I am going back. The truth is, you are not present. So let us be very present. How do you improve your relationship management? Try to discover the role of emotions. What are emotions playing? What are the role of emotions in your interactions with others? I have anger issues, and anger is actually affecting my relationship with people. I am a perfectionist, and my sense of perfectionism is making people feel not appreciated around me. Get to know what is the role of your emotions as far as interpersonal relationships are concerned. Then manage you. Don't go out managing anyone else. Manage you. Some of us, we are easily triggered into anger. That's very typical. Very sensitive people, melancholies, they are very sensitive. If that is you, catch yourself when you are being triggered and manage yourself. Because huyo mtu nakasirikia, you will need their help, and they will also need your help. So manage me so that I'm able to build on relationships. Be quick to settle disputes, differences of opinion, and misunderstanding. Be quick. Be very quick. So why is EQ important? Why are we talking about EQ? Is it important? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, research has shown that workers with high EQ are better able to work in teams, adjust to change, and be flexible. Are you a HOD here? Do you want a strong team? EQ is very important in your department. It's Goldman who said, emotionally intelligent leaders are better at conflict and distress management, negotiators, and role models. In conclusion, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you are not able to manage distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are not going to get very far. Thanks for listening to me. I hope I've kept time. Okay, thank you.
Tupigie daktari makofi tena. By HOD hajamaanisha HOD wa Ketraco. You know you can be an HOD somewhere. You can be an HOD uko nyumbani kwako, kwa kanisa, kila mahali. So EQ, EI is very important. Maybe I'll allow daktari to take like a maximum of 2 questions, since
he's asking if someone has triggered you like a husband or a wife, like him is in a bibi, and you walk away. The question is, why are you walking away? I'm walking away to manage me. Are you getting the point? Because I'm well aware. Itafika mahali nitapata tu mkono imeenda. You get it? So walking away is a way of coping with your emotions now. You get it? Now. Because you are aware if you don't manage you now, vita ndizo hizo. So you walk away, but the other thing is this, you walk away to what? If you walk away to alcohol, kuna shida hapo. Tuko pamoja? If you walk away to the gym, or to take a walk, or for nature walk, you are doing good. Then after walking away and you are calm, you have managed yourself, then you can come back. Let's discuss what was happening. Walking away does not mean you assume the problem. I am walking away because I know huyu mtoto nikimshika. Are you getting the picture? You know, there is another anger that comes from parenthood that you can't explain. I'm aware if I get hold of this kid, and because I'm aware, I manage me. Then later on, let's sit down. Ulikuwa nasema nini? Mwalimu alisema nini? Ulikuwa suspended. Ulikuwa expelled. Now let's talk. But I've already managed me. But please, don't walk away to engage in a maladaptive coping mechanism. By the way, did you know something? Alcohol is a coping mechanism. Most people who just take alcohol, they started from a way of dealing with what they are going through. Nobody takes alcohol to be addicted. No, nobody. It started as a way of coping with what I'm going through. It continued to coping until now it becomes alcohol use disorder. It's not everyone who is taking alcohol has alcohol use disorder. No. Some people are just abusing alcohol. Others, they have alcohol use disorder. And alcohol use disorder is a spectrum. Mild symptoms, moderate symptoms, severe symptoms. Severe is what you call addiction. So the elephant in the house is, you are walking away to what? I'm walking away to manage me, but how am I managing me? Is that okay? Thank you for that question. Any other question? Okay, I think we are good. Thank you.
Tupe daktari makofi ingine tena. Now before we break for lunch, there is something important that we forgot when we started, in line with our theme. Harmony around, harmony within. I know we don't know each other, but if you are a member of staff who joined Ketraco maybe in the last 2 years, tunataka tuwaone. Mnaweza simama? If you know you joined Ketraco in the last 2 years, ndio tusipitane huko tudhanie we ni papu. Hakuna watu walijoin the last 2 years. Ketraco hamjaemploy watu the last 2 years. Hey, then we are doing badly, bwana. No, nimekuwa specific the last 2 years. Oh, kuna mmoja pale. Since ni wachache, si to spare to like 3 minutes. Watuambie jina na wanafanya nini.
Good afternoon. My name is Seraphine Duku. I'm a transmission planning engineer and a transmission planning PDS. I joined 1 year ago.
PS ni? What is PS? PDS. Oh, PDS, okay. Makofi ya Sandra, Seraphine.
Good afternoon. My name is June Musita Carlos. I'm an electrical engineer currently based at Mangu Substation.
Makofi.
Good afternoon.
Construction.
Karibu sana. Now it's that time ya kwenda kuangalia huyu mtoto anaitangwa tumbo. Our lunch, we will be having our lunch. Okay. Yeah, but mmoja amesimama pale. Attaches and interns. Una force mtu akwe atachi. Okay, we will be having our lunch on 8th floor. On your exit, we'll go left, take the lift just when you enter the main entrance. We go on up to 8th floor. Na mtakuwa na view ya park. Bure. Then from the lift you exit, you go left. And we want to dedicate our lunch. Mr. Caleb Mango will dedicate our lunch to the Almighty God.
Our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Caleb. We'll proceed for our lunch. Then immediately after lunch, I believe 1 hour, Joyce. By 3, we will proceed to the ground adjacent to this center. And if anyone need like counseling, after lunch our counseling team from Amani and they'll be here. So if you need like some counseling, you can seek for their services here. But vile tunasema kama kijeshi tuchukue lunch yetu mbio mbio, then we proceed huko kwa field, tukate pia hiyo fat yenye tumeenda kukula huko hivi. Sawa sawa? Bon appetit. Now, make sure everybody has signed their attendance sheet.